Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapper and Chronicles. Today we're coming back at you with another Ratchet video. The Ratchet we see here, I'm pretty certain, I'm like 95% certain that even though it has no name on it, this was a Kmart Ratchet from around the 70s. The only markings that this Ratchet has is on the back. It says Japan. So I just wanted to jump into this and see what Japan in the 70s the quality was like. But before we start, if you would do me a favor and give me a like and also subscribe to this channel if you find these videos at all helpful or entertaining. Okay, this is a 3/8, and since it's not marked, this could have also been in other sets from other retailers, but I've seen this one before in sets that were Kmart, that were marked Kmart Auto, that came from Kmart. So, and they also, I think maybe for single sale, they also had the same Ratchet with Kmart, I think, or another name that was a Kmart brand was actually marked on some of these Ratchets. But it's a typical roundhead Ratchet 3/8 drive. Here's a little bit of the knurling. The knurling doesn't seem too bad. It's kind of small, but pretty uniform and feels pretty grippy actually. So I guess not bad there. And there we look at the switch. Well, this got the usual coil ring that holds the mechanism, and I already started it, so we don't have to waste time with that. And you just take it off, and this is what the coil ring looks like, typical for that time period. Okay, now we push out the mechanism and we take a look at the broaching and the teeth. And the teeth are not that great looking from my vantage point. They seem kind of sloppy a little bit and soft, like you can see over here. It looks like they were mashed somehow, and then towards the middle, I'm guessing that's where the paw was riding on, more towards this side, the switch side. They look maybe a little bit better, but kind of not so great. I don't know. And on this side there's a small cutout ledge here, and that's for the switch side of the mechanism. But as you can see here, it's nothing. Doesn't look too good actually. It looks kind of like what you would expect from made in China right now, but not made in China good. The made in China Ratchet sets that you see for $5 at Harbor Freight and whatever, Walmart, that kind of quality. So not so great there. And here we look at the mechanism. The mechanism maybe is a little bit better. Like, it's not super tight, but the tolerances look better than what you would find on those really cheap Chinese Ratchets. Has 3 teeth, as you can see here. One, the end tooth on each side has been mangled, so maybe that's what led to the mangling in the head here, but I don't know. Just doesn't look that great to me to start with. Yeah, like I said, there's a regular SK style paw with 3 teeth, and the first tooth on each side is mangled up. Okay, I'm gonna take this apart. I press down on the pawl that's sticking up, and I try to put the plunger underneath this solid part here. Now I reach for a magnet, and I try to ease the mechanism out. Not all the way, because we know that plunger is under pressure there, so you don't want it to shoot across the room. So I just block all the openings here in case it wants to shoot out. And here we see the switch. Oh, and another thing is that this ratchet is like one of the worst greases I've seen was used in this mechanism. It was like dried hard gum, chewing gum. That's how bad the grease was, and you can still see some of the residue in hard to reach places. And I tried to clean it out as best I could with WD-40, but even it wouldn't even soften up with WD-40. It kind of just, like I said, it was like bubble gum congealed, and it wouldn't even, even mix in with the WD-40. And I'd have to take it out in chunks. So that's that. Here is the ball detent. I mean, not the ball detent, the plunger and the spring, and it's a hollow plunger with the spring inside of it. And a pretty thin plunger. You can see the sides are pretty thin, and you can see it's chewed up. You can see the sides of the head of the plunger are dented. That's from hitting the sides of the mechanism, the sharp sides there, and it gives it these dents which affect the function because they get stuck. Those sharp sides, it will, when the plunger is on one side or another, those sharp sides will just stick there and keep the plunger from going all the way up, and so it makes the mechanism sloppy and not work correctly. And here is the pin for the pawl. Not good quality either. The thickness isn't bad, it's just it looks like it was just really chopped. You can see it's kind of lopsided there, just like really chopped really fast and wasn't formed very well afterwards. It looks like they had a machine that was just like cutting the rods and was creating malformed pins. You see there the tip. See how there's like a slant, and on this side also it's a slant, so not too good. The pawl looks not bad. There's chamfering on the holes on both sides. I mean, doesn't look too bad. Not sure what the strength of it is, the metal, if it's good. As you can see, what I said earlier, you see the first tooth there is pretty mangled, got all chewed up, so don't know if this was abused or what, but that first tooth didn't hold up too well. And the rest of the mechanism doesn't seem too bad. The machining, I've seen worse. So there's a little bit of chamfering in the hole there. So over here, maybe not so bad. And the ball detent looks well centered. And it's decent pressure on it. Okay, to get this back together, take your pawl, put it in, get the holes matched up, stick your pin in over here, take your plunger and spring, and you put those in the hole. And now you put your switch there with the pawl against the side, and you press in. The plunger and you stick it in, and you see if it's ratcheting or if it's swinging the pawl. But you can see what I'm talking about. Those crimps in the plunger, they get caught on the sharp side here of the body of the mechanism, and it creates those creases, and over time the mechanism just gets stuck there. I mean, the plunger just gets stuck at the crease and is not able to move up with the spring. I can feel it a little bit when I'm pressing down on the pawl. Okay, you just drop this back in. Might want to hold the pawl a little bit down, and you get your coil ring. Open that up and you mash it around. Like that. Okay, you see if it's working. And it's working, but like I said, it's kind of sluggish. I think it's because it's getting caught on those sides. The plunger. Well, there you have it. Okay, this isn't that great. This is on par with modern, those Chinese really cheap, I call them dollar ratchets, the ones that you get, like I said, at Harbor Freight, with the whole set of like those little sockets for like $4.99. So is Japan, and at the time Japan could be hit or miss. Some stuff I did see from that period, from 70s and 80s, was pretty decent and kind of on par with Sears, Craftsman stuff. The wrenches from some companies were like almost identical in the feel and quality to Craftsman wrenches, but I guess some stuff was still pretty primitive. Well, what you gotta figure is that Japan in the 60s and 70s was kind of like where China is now, as far as the quality of some of this stuff. And as you saw, Taiwan took off, and the quality is pretty good on a lot of Taiwanese stuff. And you know, it's you would consider it better than made in China. And kind of right now, made in China is making strides to improve the quality, and they are. Some of the stuff isn't bad, but some of the stuff is still really bad. And I guess that's where we look back at China, at Japan, was around that period, 50s, 60s, 70s, kind of improving. Some of the stuff was getting good, but a lot of the stuff was kind of cheap and, you know, marginal quality. Alright guys, that's all I got. Until next time.